integers, integers, and that's in algebra. That's where there's a number that's common. But one of the definitions, and I got to give you my definitions, one of the definitions for an integer says that it's any of the natural numbers, the negative of those numbers, or zero. But here's the part of the definition that I want to use. But an integer is a complete entity. And I said integers, which is a complete entity, intersects with emotions. Because every person that is a participant in research has emotions, have feelings. And something is either going great, something either needs to be neutralized, something is not going so great. And that all of that could be happening during the time of the actual research. In any research project that you participate in, that you have an individual story. The question, who am I, do you know? Isn't that amazing? When they're doing research on you. And what's so amazing, I hear people, and Dr. Wright knows this, I don't want to be in no research project, I want to stick my head in the ground. We get that all the time, don't we? I don't want to hear it, I don't want to be a part of it. But every time you get on the internet, come on somebody, even when you purchase your groceries at the store, come on somebody, that's going through the computer. They're looking at what you're buying. So today, Priscilla bought not one bag of white potatoes, but she bought 10 bags. And it was Idaho. And they know.
Mercy.
They know.
And they see your face too.
And they see your face now.
Yes.
Once you go on Google's app, you give them permission to listen to you. I asked in the store, I said, how come they know? How come after you're talking to somebody about something, all of a sudden that ad or something will be on your phone? And the guy said, once you put the Google app on your phone, you have given them permission to listen to you. And I said, I didn't know that. So if you want to say something you want nobody else to know, you need to turn your phone off.
Yep. So take one of these. Take one of these and pass them down. I'll just keep one. That's okay. So I'm passing out a handout that simply shows the figure of a body with no head, no face.
That's all they know.
Can this be an identifier? Yes or no? Who said yes?
I said yes too.
Come on, tell me your yes. Why? Why can this be an identifier?
Because they see your hands.
Okay.
And probably the height of you without your head.
Oh, come on now.
Also, too, the body looks like it belongs to a male.
Interesting. How many of us think it belongs to a male? Raise your hand. No. Okay. Let me show you this. We're doing things today by illustration, right?
Yes.
Imagination, right? So nobody's wrong. And we're doing what we think is real. So if that's my perception, it's real. Now watch this one. Me and all my props, you know. So, could it be fake? Watch the demonstration and remember it's your worldview and whatever insight you have. You're entitled to that. So most of you say it's the body of a woman.
A they.
A they? Oh, interesting.
Other.
A they or another, what does that mean?
They are not identified by just gender.
Dr. Wright, isn't that true?
That's true too.
In research, they don't, there are some people, and Prince was the one that referred to himself as it. And people, and I mean, he changed everything to it. So keep in mind, if there's a particular research that they want to find out about how many people wear polka dot tops, oh, y'all ain't working with me? Okay. Wouldn't this qualify?
Yes.
How many people wear pants? Right? Wouldn't that, it goes to what the researcher is trying to extract by way of data to prove a point, a hypothesis, am I right, Don? Yeah. Or to disprove it. See, I know a little bit of something. Okay, now, any other reactions to that? How do you feel about being perceived without a head? Or could you say your identity is in your head or in your clothes? In what you're wearing?
All of the above.
Oh, who said all of the above? I got another show off in the room.
Because when you walk into the room, the first thing they see is the color of your skin.
Oh.
That's true.
The color of your skin. I don't care how they say we're colorblind. No, the first thing they see when you walk into a room is the color of your skin. And then they look at what you're wearing, how you are presenting yourself, and how you talk.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah, I disagree.
No, you don't have to disagree. It's just your worldview.
My view is that
It's your
when you go
worldview.
into a room, they don't see who you are. All they see is what your shape, or it could be what you have on, or how you move. Sometimes they don't see your skin. That's
your opinion.
my perception
Right.
of being there.
Because remember, nobody's right or wrong. That's because when we get into perception, do we not say, that's how I see it? That's my perception right now. Just one. Mm-hmm.
And isn't it so that your perception is based upon your exposure, your world?
Worldview.
And so
Where you come
in
from.
America, if we walk into a very expensive place, you will be judged by what you have on, what you drove up in.
You know, I'll turn this
If
into
you
my
have any
walker.
money to spend, or if you belong in here. Okay? Now you go someplace else in another part of the world, that may not be the criteria.
That's right, that's true.
So, wasn't it interesting that there was a group of a bunch of people,
Yes.
but they don't all look the same?
No. No.
So, who would you identify with immediately?
In
The
the
woman,
picture?
Which woman?
the black one.
See? Don't look at yours.
Oh, no.
Look at this.
The one
I
that's.
would identify.
Come, right here.
I would identify with the whole group because they're all seniors.
Oh, interesting. See that's another perception. She would, based on her perception and information she's gathering, because we're all gathering information all the time. Would you agree? You never stop gathering. Right now, y'all looking at me thinking she need to go somewhere and comb her hair. She don't need to do me. She need to go do her hair.
See, I never even thought of that because I thought that was just your show presentation. I never even thought of that.
But watch. Like First Lady says, certain places I go in,
You better not look like that.
well, I do, because I'm very confident in who I am, but comments have been made.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
And
was,
she walked in the church like that.
yes, some people would have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Kinky hair. So interesting.
Let me
So
tell you, I
that-
was in the bank one day. It was close to Halloween, and I had all this stuff hanging down on my beads hanging down.
Yes.
And I happened to look at this one person, and they did their hand like this. I said, hold it, This is decoration. Don't be pushing no button on me. So I'm wondering
Oh, good.
if they would push a button.
Mercy.
And stereotyping.
Uh-huh.
I have this really nice leather bag, and it has an African face on it, a real African mask that one of the African shops put together. And the woman is very striking. Well, I was in a restaurant, and this white lady, when I walked by, she said, "Oh, that's so scary." I said, "What are you talking about?" "Your purse is scary." But it's worldview, and perception.
Watching too many cars in.
Right.
I walked in Hobby Lobby after I went to a funeral, had a hat on and stuff, and I didn't realize people was watching me. Then I walked past two ladies, and I said, "No, I'm just browsing around." They said, "We saw you when you came in."
See what I'm
"Oh, I
saying?
like that hat. I like that."
Uh-huh.
Open up your coat and let me see what you got on.
That's exactly right.
They do that.
Yeah, I think.
And then they felt it.
So, because they want to touch and make sure, yeah, like how nice it is. So, do y'all feel comfortable at this point with putting your bags on, and Marty's going to pan the room? Y'all get it? Because in research, all of this goes into, is that right, Dr. Wright? Who you are. I love it. Randy, it'll work. It'll work. It'll work.
Where the hold to breathe at?
Okay, Marty's gonna pan the room.
I don't know if my number's up for it or not.
It's in the front. It's in the front.
Okay.
So, Dr. Wright, what are your thoughts in terms of research? Because you have always been one of, to me, in my professional opinion and professional observation, a major contributor to research that's being done in this community. What's your reaction when you see study participants with a bag over their head?
It makes me feel sad. I
Mm.
feel sad to see that. And, you know, still, even people use the word subject, which I refuse to ever use the word subject. And to me, this looks like a bunch of subjects and not people.
Wow. Marty, what's your reaction? Seeing this many people arriving and wearing numbers. And we see different numbers. Everybody has a different number. And may I point out this number to my immediate left that says the letter A for Alpha, 1950-2015. And I purposely wrote it as the end date, that participant, study participant, probably didn't even live long enough to get the full results of the study that they participated in. Marty, what's your thoughts?
To me, this is typical. It looks normal to me. From what I've seen in the community, it just looks normal. It's just, I don't know, I only know one, maybe two individuals in here. I don't really know them. So it just looks normal. It is, numbers have become a thing of, it's just normal.
How we are identified.
How we are identified, it's a normal thing. It's sad. I see it with kids in the schools. I know there was a couple of teachers in here, but I saw it in the schools, working in the schools, and it's sad because I had more results because I knew the kids' personalities than I did numbers. And they always wanted me to know, bring data in to support your mentoring. I'm like, how do you bring data in to support your mentoring? And everything that I'm doing in these schools is working. So this looks normal.
And unfortunately, I have to agree with you, and I echo what Dr. Wright just said. It makes you feel sad because they don't get to know the person. They don't get to know my feelings. And in the case where an individual participated in some form of research, whether it was longitudinal, qualitative, quantitative. See, I know a little bit, just a little bit. And particularly with those say it for me. Longitudinal, yeah. Over time, some people don't even live to hear the results. And how often do the research, and before I say that, Dr. Wright, I appreciate you saying you didn't like referring to the study participants as a subject. I appreciate that, because I think subject gives you more of a harsh reality of being excluded, being pushed off to the side. Would you agree with that, Marty?
Yes.
Subject. Versus a research participant, I think when I hear the word participant, that means somebody's going to participate and make a contribution.
Yes, because you are. Because in reality, we need you more than we need us.
And one of our research participants is struggling over there. We're going to help her in a minute. Go ahead, Marty.
I do have one question, and this is for you, Doctor. Yeah, because we are looked at as numbers and we don't really get to know the personalities, can that attribute to mental health illnesses in the long run?
Are you so
systematically? You're saying systematically?
Yes.
people are not
Absolutely.
addressed? And, oh, certainly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, not necessarily in a research study.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
But over
You're
the
saying just in general, if
Right.
people don't have an identity and people aren't called by their names,
exactly.
yes, then you feel like you're not counted. And I think that, especially since the pandemic,
Yes.
that, I mean, we're all kind of learning how to be around each other again. still,
Yes.
And haven't really processed what happened to us being so isolated, because
Correct.
we are people need to be around people. I don't care how single-minded you are,
Yes.
you still have to have some level of socialization. So I think that by ascribing numbers to an individual, or just giving them a categorized title of patient or subject or those types of things, they do impact how you feel about yourself and your mental health.
And at a future date, Marty and I are going to explore this even further. And we will today start wrapping it up, because I know you need to go back to your to the campus and finish teaching, because she is a professor. She refers to herself as an assistant professor, but I say
Not yet.
professor.
Yeah.
But at a
Actually,
future
going on
date,
research visit after this,
yes.
so home visit, yeah.
So as a future date, Marty and I are going to look at this more on a systematic basis, because what we know in the correction facilities, Marty, you want to touch on that, in the prisons.
Well, in the prisons, they're just numbers. They
That's
are
all.
not. And it's hard to be reformed when you're just a number. You don't really know that person. You got to get to know that person.
And it's easier to take away your humanness.
Absolutely,
If you
absolutely.
Which is a name.
And another aspect of this is when babies are born. Culturally, there are groups who will not name their child for a period of 7 to 10 days. But I guarantee you, they're gonna make sure you get that hospital number for billing purposes. That baby gonna have a number. Oh, I hear the uh-huhs. And eventually, with a short range window, you're gonna have a social security number for that baby. So there we go again, labeling. There we go again, identifying people by numbers. Politicians, they look at how big their district is according to the numbers. So this purpose today, and I want to clearly state this, is to just put it out there again as a gentle nudge, as a reminder that we are people. And we know in so many aspects, and he just said it, systematically, You are just a number when you go into Kroger's, and let me give a shout out to Kroger's who donated our bags. But you are a number. You are a number when you're checking out. They want to know, they're looking at what you bought, what time you came to shop, how many of this you bought, how many. It's all about the numbers. The numbers is what drives us in this society, in this world. So I want to conclude by saying one of the things that, and take your bags off and turn them around and put this side up like I did with Bob and put that on. Take a deep breath and get ready to do this because I want to conclude and make some other, yep, doesn't matter who you got, put it on.
That's me, Steve, put that on.
Okay. If you don't mind, because I want to make a general comment about this. But one of the resolves that I want to put out here, Dr. Wright, as a way that maybe we can resolve this or add a solution rather, is to have a videotape with the principal investigator doing very similar to what you're doing today. Coming in this space, and you do this on a regular basis, talking to the study participants, getting to know them. And that videotape, I think, should be passed on to the institution of the review board. So they then, because they really have no clue who we are. Their job, I know, is to protect us by numbers, but if we're sitting here and not identifying, as we talked about being a detective, one of the detectives said, I want to get their ID, somebody's ID fell. They're looking for ways to identify the person, but the IBR's position is to protect your identity. But if they're just listening to the voices and seeing the faces and hearing me say, like somebody said, I'm a grandmother, I got 21 grandchildren. That's what they need to hear. I went to college, I retired. That's what and none of them gave their names to the very end. You see how I did that? So as we look around, I know you can't see it, but you will have a picture on your bag, and that picture may not represent you. And I did that intentionally because if you have a researcher who has collected data about you, their perception is, Ann, take yours off. Here you are a black woman, but the researcher may still perceive you as a white woman. Is that possible, Doc?
Yes.
In their perception. And I'm talking about what's rooted in their mind.
Kind of like the worldview.
The worldview, absolutely, absolutely, because we can't always do this. Winnie, take yours off. You could still be identified, not identified, but the perception of the researcher could still perceive you as a teenager. I don't need an answer. I'm just saying, we don't know. Priscilla, take yours off. Who's on yours? You can all take them off now. Who's on yours?
Where's the back? You mean the
picture.
That's the man.
A man with what?
Yeah, one eye with glasses on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Do you think it's possible you could be perceived like that, even after you've given information about, somebody said, of course, what you mean?
Of course,
Yeah.
in my younger years, I was raised in this little town named Johnstown, Ohio, bumper to bumper white folks.
Okay.
It is. That's how I was raised. That's how we were taught. That's how my father and our parents raised us. In fact, I didn't know who the Duke of Earl was, but I can tell you who Paul Revere and the Raiders were.
Okay.
And too many times in my younger years in retailing and in management, because of the way that I talked, they did not realize that I was non-white.
Mm-hmm.
They would come in and they would actually and it's happened since I worked with the state, I would talk to people on the phone because I speak the King's English. They did not understand that I was an African American female simply because of my speech and
Your
how I carry
articulation.
myself, or what I wear, or what I drive, or how I walk. So there's this whole perception out there based on what you don't see. This is more of me than you realize.
Wow, isn't that amazing? Worldview. And what would say it again, Doc? Her social, how she was socialized when you were coming up. Anybody else want to share theirs?
When I was married to my first husband,
Oh, tell me about your picture.
oh, this is Barbara Jordan,
So when you was married to your first husband,
my first husband.
you were Barbara Jordan. Is that what you're telling me? No, I'm being funny.
When I was with my first husband, my last name was DeWeaver.
DeWeaver?
DeWeaver. And so I would go apply for a job, and they would call me and come on in, 1 o'clock to have an interview. And when I would walk in the door, they were shocked because they thought it would be a white girl.
Absolutely, with DeWeaver?
With the, and the Marla.
Yeah, Marla and
that name was very uncommon. And so they'd be shocked. They were on a fourth chair.
Exactly.
I'm here. So like you said, perception is sometimes even in the name. They just assume that you're American when you could be anything else.
Wow. Priscilla?
Growing up in Coshocton, this is my experience. I mean, there has never been a black educator to this day in Coshocton, okay? When they heard that I had graduated, they said, we will pay you master's pay to come back here if you would just be our teacher. I said, oh no. In Coshocton? No. Well, and I told you I got hired in Columbus.
Yes.
69-70 school year, and I was at the old Douglas.
Yes.
And African American Month came. They said in staff meeting, well, every day we're going to start out with the Black National Anthem, and then we're going to talk about, a black inventor or whatever. I said, Black National Anthem, what is that? There were older teachers there. I had never heard that before.
And I understand.
I don't know if anybody knows her or not. Eddie Lauderville, she walked up to me crying. I mean, tears running down
Sure.
her face. She said, oh, baby, where did you come from?
Yes, yes.
I
Sure.
said, Coshocton, Ohio.
Yes, yes.
She said, oh, no. Then here comes Miss Cousins. Here comes Miss Edith. And all, I mean, these people, they said, look, we're going to help you. We're going to help you.
That is
Oh,
correct.
Sorry for me. I said, well, tell me what I'm supposed to do. I want to learn it. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. They told me the first thing I need to do is come to this Martin Luther King Library
Yes,
and learn the Black ABCs. I bet you some of y'all haven't even heard of it, have you?
I have, only because I'm real active with the library, yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, when it
so
was
I
over
did.
there, absolutely.
Right, so I came here and
Yeah.
I learned the Black ABCs.
Yes.
And from there
Yes.
to the inventors and all that. And
Yes.
That helped. That helped. That got me started. But I felt so stupid when they were talking about that. And I said,
Yes.
wait a minute. What is it? I want to learn it. What is it?
Yes,
What is it?
The Black National Anthem?
No, the Black ABCs.
the Black
A
ABCs.
Afro, B Babies.
Yes.
C Cool, D Dream, E Everybody, F Friends, G Groovy. A
And see, my son for preschool, he went to Harambe. So, remember Harambe? Yes.
So
He
that's
was
how you
a
heard of it.
black baby over there in Harambe, and they was teaching him all that kind of stuff because I'm
But that's my
power to the
experience.
people.
Growing up in a white area, that's what I'm trying to do.
So, Tony, let's hear from some others real quickly because Marty got to wrap up the tape. First Lady Tony, what's your picture?
I have an elderly white lady. Looks like she's she looked like she is Muslim.
Muslim, uh-huh.
Wait just a minute. I'm sorry, I got to ask this question.
Okay.
How can you look at a person and tell what religion they are?
The way they dress,
Absolutely, you can.
the way
The reason I'm asking is when you said that, there's a commercial that came on the TV, and I heard it before I saw it. And it was an Oriental girl, because I don't know if she's Chinese, Japanese, or Korean, who was doing the commercial. And the first time I saw it, I was in shock because she had that southern accent. And that's how, I hear people tell me that all the time.
Yeah,
They said
worldview.
that you can look at it.
You really can.
I do not, I personally am not of that perception where I can look at somebody and say that.
Well,
So
she
watch
has-
this.
She has a scarf.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, hers, yeah.
Around her.
Because
Yes.
I saw your picture and you said it was a white lady.
Yeah.
I thought she was mixed from over here.
So watch that. Watch this. Let me just give you a footnote.
Okay.
Without you even opening your mouth, just based on how you are dressed, you could pass for Muslim. You could pass, am I telling y'all the truth?
That's true, yes.
You could pass for a dark complected Dominican. Come on, y'all.
Yes.
I'm trying to tell you without you opening your mouth because you got a head wrap on and you're dark skinned. And no offense, but heavy set because that's a prototype. You could be Dominican. And when I seen a Cuban that was black as her pants and Afro, I thought he was black. He said, no, I'm Cuban. And start speaking in Spanish. Some of them are darker than us, just like Indian.
Just like Puerto Rican.
Yeah, Puerto Ricans, Cubans.
Some of them are dark as me and some of them are white.
You could pass for someone in their,
You skipped over it.
okay,
She told me to tell you that.
You guys are funny.
okay,
You're her
Okay,
mouthpiece.
got you right.
okay, okay. Okay, Rennie, we coming to you. Come on, sister, I'm sorry. Anything else you want to add about that? Your picture?
I'm looking at her jewelry. I just see that one earring on one ear. That's about all you can see. And she's smiling. And she's got mixed black and gray hair.
So to me, what's amazing about that picture, if you had a head wrap on, you could look like that same lady. See what I'm talking about? Depending, like if you came today with your head wrap, like Winnie, you could look like that same lady. See how the perceptions and the world views influence how we receive people. Doesn't mean that it's always negative,
That's right.
but it clearly gives me a point of reference. Oh, she must be Cuban. Now, I ain't never said anything, but I'm thinking it. Oh, I bet she's from Nigeria.
Perception.
We do it all the time.
All the time.
You gather data. So what's the next point? Gather the data. Hi, how are you? What's your name? See, and before long, this is me gathering data. Oh, I'm thinking about building a house in Africa, so I want to find out if she's from Africa. I think, oh, have you ever been there? And then you're going to tell me one of two things. No, I got my head in the sand. I'm an ostrich.
I love that.
Me don't hear nothing. Me don't speak nothing. Me don't see nothing. But me will take the money. But y'all see where I'm going with this? Okay, Anita, did you do yours?
No.
Okay, and then Rennie will come to you. Everybody gonna do theirs. And Winnie. So what's your perception?
Yeah. With the gentleman and the son is like grandma, mother, they're having a good old time like it's her birthday. But they, you know, they're, to me, that's just showing, you know, it's like they're showing their love towards her.
So you see love, interesting, celebration, appreciation.
Surprise.
Surprise. Very good. So see, somebody could perceive looking at you like, oh, that lady sure look like she love people. Am I right? See?
And then when I look at this, she could be my great-grandmother.
Do you better stop it, cause y'all haven't seen the whole picture. I have.
My great-great-grandmother. 'Cause
You
I've never
could-
met my grandmother.
We're gonna do Ancestry.com. I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
She could be my
Absolutely.
great-grandmother.
You could look like that easily.
You don't know about us then. Because this looks like our what? Great-grandmother, daddy's grandmother?
Yes.
Not granddaddy, granddaddy's mother. She was German, remember?
Oh, well,
You got a
yeah.
picture of her on the wall.
Yeah.
She looked just like this.
I know, that's right.
And I didn't get her hair either.
That's all right. Y'all picked up the good DNA. Didn't Bob talk about that DNA? Rennie.
I have Maya Angelou.
Oh, Maya.
Maya Angelou. And when I looked at it, it looks like, it reminds me of my mother. All the women that were in my life. My second mother, my grandmother, they all walked with dignity. They were domestic, but intelligent, okay? Giving, outreaching to a lot of people. So I got a lot of my caring for people from that, watching them. My mother always ministered to the elderly that was in my neighborhood. She would be cooking Sunday dinners and they'll take it over to the house. And I watched her give out of what she had and then watch God give her more. And so when I looked at that, I said, yeah, that is a vintage, spiritual and practicality.
Interesting. You think somebody could perceive you like that without knowing about your background?
Yes.
See, listen to the uh-huhs, yes. And these are folks that just met you today. I ain't said nothing.
Usually, I think people that smile a lot,
Bring it on in.
you attract, if your light's shining, you're going to attract people to you. If
That's
you're a
right.
dark person, you're not. And so people usually gravitate toward people who they can see their light.
Okay. Thank you.
So you don't even have to say Maya Angelou. They see it already. Okay, Winnie. Did you do yours already? Yeah, you did. So we did everybody.
She said Winnie. That's why I took my bag off. Thought you thought Winnie and
We didn't
Rennie.
do it.
Rennie, oh, that is
See,
right.
and that's why I took my bag off. Look.
My mom is sweet. Bring it
I
on.
didn't think so.
She did her. She told me I was a teenager.
But she was
Right.
And this is me. See that?
Face.
And why do you think that's you?
She puts her head in the ground. She doesn't want to get involved in anything.
So why do you put your head in the ground?
Radar. I think I have reached that point in my life at this time. At this time. This has not always been me.
That's
This
correct.
is me now.
Any significance to that? Now this is all on tape. I should have said that afterwards. Let her get it out.
One thing you said was the isolation.
Dr. Wright, come on in with it.
That's what happens as you get older.
Dr. Wright, come on in now. She tagging you in on this isolation with
What happens
seniors.
as you get older. My family was small. We are estranged. Okay, my brother just left this morning.
Oh,
And like I said, I'm serious when I tell you I left Michigan with no forwarding address. I had children and an ex-husband, but I literally left there with no forwarding address.
Oh, I believe you,
So
yeah.
therefore, even though I've lived here, because I left there, came here, left here, went elsewhere, left there, came back here, left here, went elsewhere, came back. Notice I keep coming back. So this is where I am, but this is what the last year is like. You come into the world alone and you go out the world alone. So this is where I am in my life now.
So Marty,
Can I go back to something she said?
Yes.
You said isolation, and this
I
is.
love that.
I'm not gonna kind of, because you're a senior, because everybody gets isolated, but a lot of youth are isolated now.
And
Social media.
and that pandemic is what Dr. Wright was saying, what it did That's why there's so many failing, and y'all see the new thing about the funding for Thrive for Future of 5, Rise for 5. They're trying to get these kids kindergarten ready so they can read. You know, that was never a major problem. But the pandemic did that to so many of us. So Dr. Wright, you touched on it a little bit because this has been in her wheelhouse with that social isolation. And she's already talked to the American Heart Association, and they're willing to do something with UARC on a small scale like this for February. And I think we're going to do it by Zoom.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. Zoom.
Yes. So because this is big. This is big.
So it's, Go Red Month. So
Yes.
For Women's Heart, and so you dress in red
And be on the Zoom. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So.
February 14th, I think.
It is. It's on Valentine's Day. So what I'm going to try to do, no, you are, but I'm going to try to get a spot in here. So, yeah, so we can be on Zoom.
Oh, to have.
I'm going to try, yeah, because some of them don't have access to the.
That's on a Sunday? That's January.
Oh, that's, yeah, February.
February 14th.
That's on a Wednesday.
A Wednesday.
That's during the day.
I'm on vacation.
Oh, again, I love you for being on vacation. Well, you can Zoom in while you on vacation.
That means I gotta take my
I'm teasing. No. You deserve it.
Where are you gonna go?
We're going on a cruise.
Oh yeah, you ain't gonna get no signal way out there, no way.
Carnival.
My cousin just got back from it, and she said it's amazing. So, because I want to be conscientious of Dr. Wright's time and Marty, because we've got time, we can still sit here and talk a little bit, but keep in mind, because Miss Ann will send you a text message. So be looking forward to this on February 14th, because it is about dealing with the isolation and the loneliness and how that has impacted. And my classic term is the residue, key word, the residue of the pandemic.
Oh, yes.
It's still out here. It's still out here. And it's impacting a lot of us. So, Marty, anything else you want to add or conclude?
No, I thought this was great. I'm just enjoying
Say it louder
myself.
and get it on the. Oh, well, you ain't got to go nowhere because I'm still doing stuff. Dr. Wright, if you got to go. So let's give her a round of applause. Where's my clapper? Wow.
Researchers need to come out. We need to talk. We need to understand each other because we have certain rules we have to go by. And,
Get this on tape. I think it's wonderful. What was your reaction to, now that's why I got to keep the bags and all the handouts, because I was going to do it again anyway with a different group. Yeah. But what is your general reaction? How'd y'all feel about having your head covered?
I felt like I was nobody.
That's exactly right.
Nobody saw who I really was.
That's,
Made you think.
Huh?
It made you think. It made you think this way. What am I?
Who am I?
And also, to me, it makes you and your people have to go to where people are at. You have to find out where a person at.
A researcher.
And so, by us putting our bags on the head, we all we're all at a different place. And then, therefore, when the researchers do go out, they got to bear that in mind that this is a different person from the person I just left, and that I have to go and understand where this person is at.
So one of the elements I want to say, Rennie, I'm sorry, I'll tag you in, is the uniqueness, or the one of the main key points is to remember everybody had a bag, right? So there's a level of commonality right there.
True.
A level of commonality, which speaks volumes to our humanity.
Yes.
We're all human. So we're tying in aspects, and I wish, read our list again for the detectives. That was so amazing. Y'all was hitting all my points for.
Inside person,
Yep.
know the identification of a person, communication, follow them, hide in plain sight, DNA, fingerprint, loose lips, spread it out, put money in different places, know the who, what, where, purpose of the heights, snoot, don't see, don't know nothing, don't wait, don't want to know, be involved. I don't know anything. I have my head in the sand.
But can you see how those are elements of research? Doc, what I gave them as an icebreaker, I think I told you this was to imagine, back to my key word, imagine you were a detective and there was a big heist in Columbus with the Huntington Bank. Billions of dollars were stolen. You're put on the case. Think like a thief. Where would they hide that money?
It's hard to think like a thief
When you're not one.
But it's that's where imagination comes in. Just what if you had to steal something? And what if that something could save your life?
I always had one saying, don't do the crime if you can't afford the time. I always
So watch this. Now I'm getting ready to flip the script on you. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Donna.
Look how lovely she looks. She done lost all this weight. She's so fabulous. I'm going to flip the script on you for just a minute. What if you had to steal good health care, quality health care? Would that make a difference? I'm hearing some people say,
What if you had to steal for your children for food?
come on, and good quality health care.
Good quality,
I think I have enough support system that if it came that bad, all I had to do was just pass the word on.
But see, that's just it. If you get to the point where you have to steal, something happens to your support system.
Absolutely.
If you get to that point, you don't have that support system.
Bye, Dr. Wright.
Yeah, I know, but this is the deal.
But I agree with you.
So it can then become a point of survival.
yes.
In order to survive, would you be willing to steal? Don't answer. I'm going to hold this up.
I got one of them.
Right. What does, and I want us all to go around and tell me, what does this remind you of?
I already know.
That's the worst one.
Laundry.
I didn't ask you what it is. What does it remind you of?
Hard work.
Come on.
No,
What does this remind you of? We all know what it is.
Childhood.
Child, come on, I'm gonna keep pulling. What does this remind you of?
Mama.
Oh, good. Come on, what does this remind?
Basement.
Come on now.
The lack of technology at the time.
Absolutely,
No, this
absolutely.
That was outside in a tub.
That's what I was getting ready to say, with a tub and it was set down in
And
there.
with socks.
But you're saying it reminds you, now that you're in a place where you're exposed to technology, this reminds you of how it was a lack. But, okay, Winnie, I didn't get your comment.
Oh, I'm doing diapers.
Oh, all day long, you better tell the truth. So, Winnie, on the back of this, guess what it says? Ideal for silks, hosiery, lingerie, and handkerchiefs. Just the right size to fit in a bucket, a pail, or the lavatory. Packs easily into a suitcase or traveling bag. No, it's on here.
And when I see that, I thank God that I didn't have to be bothered with that.
Do you understand me? Pass that around so you can see that I'm telling the truth.
I still got the glass one.
But
With diapers.
here,
Funny, when you talk about diapers, I use diapers right now. I cut them up, because I went to a baby shower and this girl said, no, I'm sure I'm not gonna use that. I said, may I have them? I just cut them up and I use them as dust cloths.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So this, all I'm trying to do is probe your intellect right now. That's all I'm trying to do. Because we've all been somewhere in that space. We didn't get here today because we arrived here. Y'all ain't helping me. We came through to get here.
Situations.
Still going through. And I remember what it reminds me of, my big mama cleaned white people's houses. And there were certain white people that did not want her. She could throw some stuff in the wash machine, because they had the real nice wash machine and dryer. But there were certain delicate items that they wanted her to use the scrub board for. Absolutely. Absolutely. To clean it because it was delicate and they didn't want it to be washed. Because they probably didn't have a delicate cycle back there.
That was the ringer portion, they did.
Yeah, and the ringer, I remember my oldest brother was playing around. He's supposed to be doing the clothes. And see, I was a little girl and I was in the kitchen just crying and screaming because he was hollering his arm went through there.
Got his arm caught up in there.
Yeah, he just went through. And my mother or my daddy came in and shut the thing off, and he was crying. He didn't break nothing. You know, and back then, even if you did break something, they'd tell you go sit down.
Get some bags of tape and
Got some rags and wrap that arm and hold it up and go sit down, put some liniment on it. So I'm about to wrap up, and I'll need you to return all the items because you think this is a good idea for us to keep going with this?
yes.
I think so too, because it's, Marty, what are any of your final comments on this?
I think you need to do it on a larger scale.
You want to do it on a larger
I
scale?
think it needs to be done. I mean, everybody can be involved.
Okay.
But I think doing it on a larger scale, you really get the benefits out of it. I mean, we all sitting in here understand what's going on now, but
for those who don't,
it's those that don't, that are not getting it.
yes,
That's the biggest problem.
yes, yes, yes.
When we
And-
did the numbers, I thought about using even those cards where they have been impounded. I've seen some
Absolutely.
apartments where they have that number on there. And when I see that, I thought, oh, they must have just got their car back.
Here's the other ones I had. Black men, black man, black man. And you would immediately